In this video, we talk about using images in Labvanced. Images can be added to your frame via this top option, this media button. If you click it, images are your first choice. So you can add an image to your frame. And in this object properties window, you can see all of the standard properties we have for our objects. You can give your image a different name, make it visible or invisible, active, which just means it's responsive to events. You can change its position and size and even where the image is anchored. So clicking that center anchoring button means that the image's X and Y coordinates are going to be determined by the center of the image. You can scale and rotate your image, and you can change things like the border size, border color, if your image is going to end up being round, and if you have any overflow, so if you like your participant to have to scroll via the mouse or arrow keys, etc., to see your whole image. You can also decide if the image is responsive to mouse interactions, such as selecting, dragging, resizing, and if you want to track the scrolling of the participant. This is the most important part of these image properties, is adding an actual file to your image. To do so, you just click this folder icon here, and any files that you have on your Labvanced account will come up. So let's say I scroll down and I want to pick this image. This is just a set of colors here. You can add some stimulus information. You can stretch the image beyond its normal dimensions to fit the box, and you can also auto-fit the bounding box. So you can change the bounding box to fit the image, or you can stretch the image to fit the bounding box. It's up to you. Rarely are you going to be just adding one image to the frame, unless you only need one image to your frame. But let's say I have 5 trials, which I'm changing down here in the trials and conditions window. Instead of manually going through each of these trials and adding a different image to each, I can simply highlight all of the trials at once, and over here, using the folder, I can select 5 images at once, and then click this spreadsheet icon that just popped up. And I have lots of options here for how I can assign my images to the different trials. This also works with like sounds and videos and things. You can do the same thing. So I can create new trials, I can assign them to existing trials, I can assign them to different conditions and factor levels. Since I created these 5 trials down here, I'm just going to assign files to existing trials. Make sure that you're assigning them to correct trial group and the correct condition if you have multiple. And clicking next, I can manually drag and drop which trial I want each image to go to, or I can click auto assign, which just puts them in the order that you selected them. And I click confirm. And then when I come down here and choose each trial has been assigned a different image. And of course, as long as your images are active, they are responsive to any events that you program them. So clicking on the image can be a trigger, looking at the image can be an eye tracking trigger, and so on and so forth. And that's really the main use cases for images in Labvanced. I hope this video was helpful.